y'all, it's Kim. So I was watching Joe Rogan earlier with Bono. I think this is probably a few days old, but I mean, he made some claim in there about 300,000 people have already died because of the Doge cuts to USAID and saying that the food's rotting in all these ports and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know where he's getting that number from. I think I heard somebody else say that too, but it's like they're using some kind of weird talking points, I guess. But we'll see what they have to say on Sky News Australia. They're always bringing up the hypocrisy and everything else. And I know Bono's just basically an activist masquerading as an artist because he's been like that for years. I mean, some things are good to fight for, but yeah, this guy's like not realizing that America is not the piggy bank of the world. We don't have to give our money, our taxpayer dollars, to just anybody. I mean, yes, take care of stuff at home first, then you can help other people in other countries with their homeless crisis or their malnutrition or whatever. But we don't have to fund stupid stuff though, like as far as Sesame Street in Iraq. I mean, they need to figure out their own funding. It's probably something that they're trying to indoctrinate the children with anyway. So I don't even trust that. Yes, there needs to be some precision as far as how our dollars are paid out if we're going to support certain things, but not where we're just forking over all this money and they're just misusing it and funneling it back to people in Congress and everybody else because they're the ones that approve it ultimately. But anyway, let's watch Sky News Australia pretty much rip into the Democrats, which they normally do because they always have something stupid happening. Anyway, let's check it out.
Joining us now is media consultant at Maha PAC, Caitlin Sinclair. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. I mean, the leftist media have been exposed again for their hypocrisy. All these outlets called Elon Musk a Nazi or claimed that he was doing a Nazi salute, but now a Democrat Senator, Cory Booker, has been caught out doing the exact same thing, and we hear nothing. Are you surprised?
No, not at all. The hypocrisy was put on full display last year during the 2024 election, during the campaign. And here's the truth. Neither Elon Musk nor Cory Booker, who's the Democrat that was being accused of the Nazi salute, neither of them are Nazis. And that is not what this story is really about. To me, the story is really about the hypocrisy, what the media refuses to touch on, which is the blatant and exhausting double standard that exists for conservatives versus Democrats. Of course, when someone like Elon Musk even so slightly said that he was MAGA or supporting the conservative movement, they launched an entire campaign against him. But when a Democrat does something that would have destroyed somebody on the right, they look the other way. So the story is not about defending a gesture. It's about exposing this rigged game, exposing this hypocritical machine. It's about how broken and biased the narratives have become. And the American people are quite frankly fed up. And that's why we saw the results we got on November 5th.
Absolutely. And the more you pay attention to it, the more you see it. This is just another example. And if it's not the left-wing media that's campaigning clearly against Trump, against RFK Jr. or Elon Musk, you can always count on celebrities to try and do that. This time, rock star Bono has made a complete fool of himself, going on the Joe Rogan podcast, claiming that 300,000 people have died because of USAID cuts, all because of Doge. Now, Joe Rogan politely reminded him that Doge exposed USAID for money laundering. Take a listen.
Yep.
50,000 tons of food that are stored in Djibouti, South Africa, Dubai, and wait for it, Houston, Texas. And that is rotting rather than going to Gaza, rather than going to Sudan.
For sure, there have been a lot of organizations that do tremendous good all throughout the world. Also, for sure, it was a money laundering operation. For sure, there was no oversight. For sure, billions of dollars are missing. In fact, trillions that are unaccounted for, that were sent off into various, they don't even know where because there's no receipts. The way Elon Musk described it, he said if any of this was done by a public company, the company would be delisted and the executives would be in prison.
Yeah, and Elon Musk also weighed in, posting on X that Bono is a liar and an idiot and 0 people have died. It seems that Bono got this figure from a speculative model built by Brooke Nichols, a mathematical health modeler at Boston University, projecting what could happen as a result of the cuts. But Caitlin, what do you make of this rant on the Joe Rogan podcast?
I mean, this claiming 300,000 people died from USAID, the cuts is just irresponsible. But Joe Rogan is right. This was a money laundering mess with 0 oversight. And that is exactly why we had a disruptor like Elon Musk go in the first place. Bono's not fighting poverty. He is fighting for his narrative. His top story just to cover up for this corruption. We see this all the time from Hollywood, all the time from these very privileged people on the left. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are investigating the corruption. They're exposing the rot, and he can't handle that. A lot of the Hollywood people can't handle that. You know, I'll give Joe Rogan a lot of credit, though, because it really struck me Rogan's superpowers here were on full display. As a journalist, you can relate to this. Letting a liberal, letting a guest come on your show and spewing lies and actually sitting there, letting the Hollywood liberal say his piece, no matter how baseless and ridiculous it is. And then he actually just sat there. I would have interrupted. So kudos to Joe Rogan there.
Absolutely. Full credit to Joe Rogan, and very embarrassing for Bono. That clip has now gone viral, and it's not the way he would have liked. He probably should have been paying more attention to the work that Elon is actually doing, and Doge is here to stay. But, you know, more media outrage or media madness, I should say. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has called out CBS News host Margaret Brennan. She was trying to challenge him to respond to concerns about, again, what could happen in the future as a result of the tariffs. And he was quick to remind her that her kind of alarmist, I should say, predictions have been very wrong in the past.
The reality is there will either be less inventory or things at higher prices or both.
When we were here in March, it said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Actually, the inflation numbers are the best in 4 years. So why don't we stop trying to say this could happen and wait and see what does happen.
Yeah.
Ouch. And he was referring to the latest results that show inflation fell to 2.3% in April, the lowest level in more than 4 years, Caitlin.
That's lies and negativity. That's all they have. That's all they have to go on.
And they're so biased.
And I think they were having such bad Trump derangement syndrome. And now it's almost like they're having Trump withdrawal. They constantly need to talk about what he's doing wrong, make things up. And for years, we had to listen to the media tell Americans and to live with this fantasy of Bidenomics, doing well, being something for all Americans, promising.
Well, what doesn't make sense is how much they gaslight and lie. And then when it's proven that they're wrong, they never come back and issue any kind of apology. Whether it's a Democrat senator, whether it's even a Republican senator, whether it's somebody like a media pundit, you never hear an apology. Not a true one. They may spin it and be like, oh, well, you just need to make a correction. No, we apologize for being wrong. We lied to you. Yeah, they never correct themselves like a wholehearted one as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's go on.
Us that inflation was transitory, that reckless spending was actually a good thing for our pockets. And now the economy is in great shape and families can actually put food on the table or have a chance of that. They're scrambling to explain why Donald Trump's return to America First policies is actually working, why tough tariffs and energy dominance and smart deregulation is actually working. They're struggling. They have nothing else to run on, nothing else to spew except lies and negativity. Inflation is failing because we're putting our country first. And that is exactly what Donald Trump promised the American people.
Yeah, and they had failing to recover the good news. But failed vice presidential candidate Tim Walz has shared his words of wisdom. That's one way of putting it. Because he can't seem to come up with anything original. So he, of course, rehashes this narrative that, of course, Trump is a dictator and tells his audience that they should step up and bully the S out of him.
Called out on this because I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. It's because he is. It's because he is.
Oh, their people are so stupid. Sit there and clapping. He's not a damn
The governor's
dictator.
being mean, and the governor's speaking out on that. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. You bully the shit out of him back. You push back.
Okay, see, that's calling for violence. And if we actually stood up and retaliated, it would not end the way that they think it's going to end. They may have some Molotov cocktails, but we've got some stuff that'll travel quite a far distance. I really think they need to shut the hell up and stop calling for this violence. Because it's not going to end the way they think it's going to end at all. Yeah, not at all. Not freaking at all. If it really came down to it, it's going to wind up in like a bad, bad spot. You think we're divided right now because of politics? Mm-hmm. You keep playing around doing this shit, it's gonna end real freaking bad. I'm just telling you. And no, I shouldn't use bad words, but damn it, it makes me mad to hear this kind of crap because they're the ones that keep it going. And then we're not even doing anything. We're just existing. We're not even messing with them. And they're the ones calling for this shit. Oh, that pisses me off so freaking bad. You just want to slap Tampon Tim across the face. Because this kind of crap right here, this isn't going to help them get back in the office or get into power. All it's going to do is make more people hate the Democrats more than they already do right now. Seriously, seriously. This is what you want to play with. Okay, just keep it going.
You make sure they know it's not there.
Yeah.
Caitlin, I can't even watch him. You know, I thought it was bad during the election campaign. He's maybe even getting worse. You know, his kind of message now that the Democrat Party should be getting meaner. They're struggling so much at the moment. Is that going to help them?
It's not going to help them. They're struggling. They have no message. They have no real leader. They actually have nothing. So they're resorting to the message of bullying. Yeah. Bullying because they cannot argue against a factual debate. Bullying because they have no leader. They have no message. They have nothing to run on. The Democratic Party is so lost right now. But my question for Tampon Timmy over there is, what men is he actually encouraging to go out and be mean to Donald Trump and bully Donald Trump? Because I'm pretty sure Donald Trump won in droves when it came to young men, millennial men, older men, alpha men. So if he's speaking to the beta males, I don't know how strong they're going to be at going to bully someone like Donald Trump and the truth. So I wish them luck there.
Yeah, good luck to them. Now I want to talk to you about health because RFK Jr. met with Argentina's President Javier Milei, and both leaders reaffirmed their plans to withdraw from the World Health Organization. RFK Jr. posted an image of the two leaders with the message, "I had a wonderful meeting with Argentina's President Milei about our nation's mutual withdrawal from the WHO and the creation of an alternative international health system based on gold standard science and free from totalitarian impulses, corruption, and political control." And Milei's government also blasted the WHO for what it called a failed COVID response, and he's not wrong there, and claims that they're not based on science but on political interests and bureaucratic structures that refuse to review their own mistakes. Now, the US is scheduled to officially withdraw from the World Health Organization in January next year, but talk to us about this alternative health system that RFK Jr. mentions. It's obviously in its formative stages, but what's it going to look like?
I think what it's going to look like is what so many Americans have been longing for, right? I think the American people have been asking the question for some time now, what is the WHO anymore? It, quite frankly, RFK Jr. exposed this, is a bloated, out-of-touch bureaucracy that pushed endless lockdowns over our people, lockdowns over real science, and funneled billions of dollars into their political agendas, into their back pockets for personal and political gain. So the real scandal here is our taxpayer dollars were funding all of that, wrecking economies with zero accountability. And take Argentina, for example, 400 plus days lockdown, small businesses crushed, freedom destroyed, stripped from the American people, any of their rights were stripped away. This was all under the WHO's watchful eye. So I think this new alternative is going to hold these global health elites to the test. They've hid behind closed doors for too many years. The American people and the younger generations, they are finally asking the right questions. They're asking about the food they're putting into their bodies. They're asking about what they're feeding their kids. They're asking about the supplements and the hormonal birth control that they're taking. It's time to tear down this broken system, build one by one back transparency, fact, common sense, all of these building blocks. And the political games have to stop. RFK Jr. is the perfect leader for this. So I'm really excited about this announcement.
Yeah, it's certainly an exciting time. So talk to us about this update you have on the Maha movement. The American Values PAC has announced that it is rebranding to Maha PAC. What's this all about?
That's right. So we have been on the front lines of RFK Jr.'s revolutionary movement right from the start, right from the very beginning. And now look at all the beautiful forces we have in this movement. The true unity party, combining Maha, combining the MAGA world. This movement is for everyone. It's for the young moms. It's for the struggling parents that don't quite know anything about the health movement. They're just starting to ask questions. Now, the Maha movement swung the 2024 election. We all know that. Swung it to President Trump. Now, we at the Maha PAC are now committed to swinging the 2026 midterms to Republicans who will help advance this agenda. We need to help push forward all of Kennedy's promises for the Maha agenda. So the 2024 campaign, for all your viewers out there, was just the beginning. Today and moving forward is where the true Maha revolution begin. So again, so excited for this announcement, a lot in store, and I hope your viewers come with us.
Caitlin, congratulations. I can't wait to see where this goes, and you'll have to keep us updated in the coming months and years ahead, as this is just a movement, as you say. But Caitlin Sinclair, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour.
Thank you.